Today we're going to be taking a brand new behind the scenes look at the Mafia Old Country. Now we're going to be taking a look at how they capture the performances there over on motion capture stages and all that stuff. Now, if you are new to my channel, this is exactly what I do for a living. I'm a motion capture animator. I clean up the motion capture. I've done motion capture myself. I've done motion capture directing, all kinds of stuff. So I'm really excited to take a look at what they're going to do here behind the scenes on this new game, Mafia Old Country. So let's dive in and take a look.
What are you doing here?
Looking for Luca.
How is he here? Sticking around where you don't belong will be the last thing you do.
His voice is awesome.
In Mafia, the Old Country, our story is actually very grounded. It's a very kind of personal story. It's really important that those characters do feel believable. They feel like they live in that world.
No more running.
Oh, I love the voices. They sound really good.
For anybody working on story-driven cinematic games, the casting process is always hugely important.
Yeah.
So good to see you.
Wow.
The actors are going to help you bring the emotions that you want the player to feel to screen.
To friendship.
We've been very lucky. We found our core characters, our central 5 or 6 characters, all just popped out from the screen as soon as we saw them.
Are you going to tell me the truth? Or are you going to accuse me of having a wild imagination like everyone else?
The first
I like the to see behind the scenes of their kind of first recording tapes of them auditioning and doing stuff like that. I love that. That's really cool to see.
time I saw Ricardo on the screen, I had an immediate, strong instinct that this was going to be our guy. This was our Enzo.
I thought family was supposed to mean something. How can you do that to him?
I had a relationship with
Yeah. See, it's very important to pick the right actors for your game and your performances, right? That's why people are so upset at Bella Ramsey right now and her being picked as like one of the actors to perform something from a video game. This is like the opposite way. Like, you know, it's flipped. But you still need to capture that performance and stuff and look a certain way.
with Enzo before Ricardo, the actor, got involved, right? Because we understand his journey in the game. I had a different idea to who Enzo was going to be. And it's really interesting to see what the actor brings to the character, because a character in a video game passes through a lot of hands, from the writers to myself as AD, to the character artists, to the animators. Everybody brings something to the character, and Enzo absolutely evolved across that process. He started as a sort of a younger guy in a way that was maybe even more naive and fresh-faced than we see him in the game.
I'm going far away from this place, Gaetano. Never coming back.
Enzo is,
You know, he makes a good point, which is that the characters evolve over time. I bet what he's saying is like when he first wrote the story and he thinks of it going to be a certain way. But once the actor is casted and he starts performing and he starts delivering these lines, it starts changing the way these directors think about who the character might be. And I like that, because it's kind of going on the fly, and you are working creatively on as things flow and as things are coming to you. And I think that's very important in the creative process when you're making a game or doing anything creative.
he's a badass, right? Enzo is a dangerous guy. But he also has this other side to him where he's very human and approachable. He's trying to figure some of this stuff out in the same way players are as they encounter him in the game. Ricardo still has a lot of that. He has that naivety, has a quality to him and his performance.
We needed somebody very, very special for that role, and yeah, we were lucky that Ricardo came knocking.
We are trying to listen to our actors and to their ideas.
Ooh, wow, I like to hear that. That's pretty cool.
Because in the end, you could enrich the experience that the player has while playing the game.
That's great. I think that's what I was saying earlier. It's great to be open to the actors and what they're bringing to the table, because they can bring something special to the performance that you may not have thought of before. And I think that's very important in this process.
And it's them who play the role at the end of the day, so they need to feel comfortable with what we are asking them to do.
All of the men in this room are bound by blood.
So we cast great actors for the role. Our job is to take those performances, their talent, and put it on the screen. It's not always straightforward. There is so much work and effort that goes into translating what we all take for granted, which we see every day in the nuanced actions, behaviors, movements of real people.
Wow, you know what's interesting? Right there they're showing that a kid, and a lot of times in games we don't see kids in video games, and I'm wondering what they're gonna do with Mafia with the kids and what we just saw there. He looked like he was hatching something with a with an axe, so I don't know, but they got to be wary. One thing that's interesting about performance capture, when you're doing motion capture, you want to make sure that the character kind of matches your body proportions of what the character is going to be in the game. So if you capture motion capture with like a kid and then you try to put that on a big giant character, it's going to look really weird. Or if you capture performance of someone that's 7 feet tall and then you try to put that down on a baby, it's going to look really, really strange, or a toddler. You have to try to make sure that you capture the performance of what's unique in there. So in this case, if they're capturing a kid, there's got to be kid stuff in the game. I'm curious what we're going to see there. Who knows?
The emotions that they convey really comes across in the detail of those performances when you see them in the game itself.
They wonder our returns. Where have you been? Nowhere. Been busy.
I think that the biggest challenge for an
I like to see the final product here. They've really done a nice presentation on this. This is really nice. Let me go back just a second. I talked over that guy. I apologize.
I think that the biggest challenge for an actor that's not used to acting in the motion capture stage is the emptiness of the motion capture stage. The actors need to be able to imagine a lot.
We are supporting them by the props, explaining what each prop means, what the set looks like, and then we are also showing them the virtual world on the screen. We are having like 2 studios, one in Brno, Czech Republic. We use this mostly for the systemic animation, for all the player locomotion, NPC locomotion, the word interaction, all the non-spoken events in the.
I see. That's very smart of them because it's cheaper that way. Anything that they're doing that's not facial capture as well as body, so anything they're doing that's just running around and like you said, NPCs and all that stuff, they can capture in this big area. It's very easy for them to do that. But when they need to performance capture and they need to do it with a whole bunch of people all at the same time with facial capture, you need to do that in an actual studio usually that does that and provides that.
The game. For the cinematics and narrative and spoken parts of the game, we are using the California 2K Games Motion Capture Studio.
There you go, the 2K California studio.
Petaluma, which is really huge. This studio allows us to capture, we call it TCAP, like total capture, which means that we can record not only the body animation, but also the facial expressions and the audio of the actors.
And then you land on the ground.
Actors, they are enjoying playing and imagining the world, so it's a blast to work with them, They all love to do so.
My precious.
Getting the imagination out of their head may sound challenging for them. It's kind of also freedom for them.
Oh, that's cool.
Chemistry between the actors, particularly Enzo and Isabella, has been really, really amazing. It's a real pleasure to watch.
People might talk.
And what would they say?
The way that we tie together the music and the performances and the location and all these things.
Ooh, I can't wait.
To produce, hopefully, a very memorable introduction into Sicily and to Enzo's experience.
I can't wait to play this game. We're going to play this live on my stream. So if you're interested in seeing this game and me checking it out and getting a behind-the-scenes game kind of developer's perspective on this game and how they did it, come back to my stream and check it out because I'll definitely be streaming this game.
That's there to really make players form a relationship with the cast. You can form a relationship with the experience. I think is fantastic.
You have a name. Enzo. All right, Enzo. Let's go.
Ah, looks awesome. Ah, that looks awesome. So one thing I wanted to talk about here just for a brief second. If you notice in a scene like this right here, they are not suited up. None of them are. None of them are mocapped up. This is probably all pre-rehearsal stuff. They don't have to do any of this. They're just learning their lines together, getting the chemistry together, trying to get all this stuff to kind of bounce around and get the whole initiative right, the initial thing going. And then once they're ready and they really, really nail everything down, then they'll suit up and get everything done, right? And do this properly. And I really like that, like, look, you can tell that they have taken the actors and they've mimicked their performances really well because they're actually using their faces. And if you don't use the actor's face and you just kind of make your own face and then you take the animation from the actor and spit it on there, it doesn't look as good. But if you take an actor and you do facial capture and then you make the actor you make the 3D model in the game look just like the actor, the animation will look so much better. The motion capture just comes across so much better because it's like more one-to-one, you know? See, I'm shocked by this. I wonder what they're doing with the kid here. Looks like he's just building something. And there, if you see real closely, I don't know if you guys caught that, but up here at the top right, it says Vicon. Now, Vicon systems are an old technology, but it's still used to this day. And it's basically, it's a whole bunch of cameras, a whole bunch of them. There's like 100 cameras sometimes. It just depends on the studio. It depends on the volume, how big the volume is. And when I mean volume, I mean the space that these mocap actors are going to be moving around in and doing their little performance. But basically, Vicon is the OGs. Okay? Vicon is the you know what I'm saying, okay? These guys are the original developers of this technology, basically. Vicon came up with some of the best stuff. They were the first ones to do really, really beautiful performance capture, whether it be on the face or the body, in video games and within movies and all that stuff. And their tech has been used for decades. And there's new tech that's come out, but the tried and true method is Vicon. It really is. If you want to get some really, really beautiful high fidelity animation that's captured through mocap, you need to do it through Vicon systems usually, okay? They just get higher fidelity, they get higher frame rate. It's captured a lot better than some of these things you can do on like a cell phone or whatever. Yeah, you can do it on a cell phone, but you're not going to get as high fidelity on it than some of these systems that have huge arrays of cameras and stuff like that. It's really incredible. I've been on sets that have huge arrays of cameras. I've been on sets that have teeny ones. So that's why I understand all this stuff and how it works. The more cameras you have, the better, trust me. And when you have a lot of cameras, it gets more information to the computer and so it solves things a lot better, basically, is what I'm getting at.
Where have you been? Nowhere. Been busy.
I think that
see all those tiny little movements in his body sometimes don't get captured when you're doing something at like 30 frames a second or 60 or
the biggest challenge for an actor that's not used to acting in the motion capture stage is the emptiness of the motion capture stage.
And he makes a good point there because the actors really need to get into it and really visualize the space, and some people can't do that. They have to literally be in the space to get it. But if you're an actor, you should be able to do this. You should be able to pull it off. That's the whole point. You're acting and you're make believing of what this scene is and what's around you and the people and everything. So I think a really good actor should be able to do video games no matter what, even though this is like a big empty stage and whatnot.
The actors need to be able to imagine a lot.
We are supporting them by the props, explaining what each prop means, what the set looks like, and then we are also...
Yeah, we saw most of this already. All right, so one thing that's important, though, is, see, they're watching their performances on their actual characters in the game. I wish they would have showed the screen here, but that's what they're seeing. They're seeing what they just did that day on set, probably in real time on the characters. Not in real time, but they're watching it back, some of the scenes that they captured. And that can be really fun on stage. I really enjoyed doing that type of stuff. This type of work is really fun. It's very hands-on, with the actors and with the performers, and it's just a fun experience being on stage with all these people, and you build a rapport with the crew and the actors, and it becomes a really fun experience. I really enjoyed doing motion capture, directing, and doing this stuff on stage. I also enjoyed doing it myself, suiting up. It can be very tiring. Look, this guy that's on the floor, it can be exhausting to do this, but it's so fun, and you build a rapport with all these people that you never met before. It's really, really fun. I love creating video games, and this is one of the parts of the process that I enjoy doing most. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed this little breakdown and behind the scenes stuff on the new Mafia Old Country video game. It's coming out soon. I think it's coming out in August, actually. So, if you want to check out this game, I will be streaming it live on my channel. Usually we stream at night from 8 to 10 p.m., somewhere around there, 7 to 10, 8 to 10. All right, stop by. We have a blast. Also, if you have the time, which I know you do, I have all kinds of stuff on this channel, breakdowns on animations I've done on God of War, all kinds of cool stuff. So if you're into that, please consider subscribing, and thank you so much for your time and support. I will catch you guys in the next one.